The mascot of Zenless Zone Zero is getting a glow up in the form of Silver Soldier Anby, and to say this was a surprise is a big understatement. But now that we have some information on the agent, I wanted to go ahead and let you all know just what our new Burger Girl can really do. So follow along with the timestamps below, and let's get started.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate the 7th, and I'll be your host today.
Anby will be an S-rank electric attack agent who ascends with crit rate from her core skill, and will focus on applying debuffs and working with a new mechanic of additional attacks, while also being able to stack marks and trigger these marks with dash attacks. Wait a minute. What the fuck? It seems that she'll be an agent that works best in a dual carry comp, and will have great synergy with her partner in Crown Trigger, but we can leave that for her video in the future. But for now, just know that Anby is shaping up to be an out-of-stun DPS similar to Ellen Jo, meaning she will want to have a lot of field time and not sit back and wait for the enemies to be stunned to start dealing her damage. But what is this new mechanic of additional attacks? It is simply a new damage type, just like special or assist damage, and can also be directly buffed as well. So with this new damage type, we can potentially form a new archetype of teams in the future with even more dedicated support down the line. But let's go ahead and jump into her kit now. But firstly, we need to understand that this is the first iteration of her, and there is a good chance a lot of these damage numbers and abilities can change. But this is how it is for now. For her basic attacks, it is a standard 4-hit attack sequence, and when Anby attacks an enemy, she will apply a mark to them. Now these marks are the core of her gameplay, so pay attention to this part. Once the enemy has a mark applied to them, you can then charge the mark up to 3 times, and this causes the mark to then activate. Once the mark is activated, you will then be able to use Anby's special attack to dash through the enemy with the mark and cause an additional attack on them. And you may repeat this dash until all charges of the mark are gone up to a max of 3 times. But now going to her core skill, it will increase her own damage against marked enemies by 20%, and also increase all allies' additional damage by a percentage of Anby's crit damage. And if you have a stun or oboe squad team member, all members' attacks against the marked enemy will deal 15% more days to the target. So she is a DPS that can also support her allies to do more damage in days as well, making her a very versatile agent in my opinion. But once again, know that some of these things can change, so I'll keep you updated if there are any. But now let's go take a look at her signature Winjin. Her Winjin will give 48% crit damage as the main stat, and the passive will give 40% combat crit damage. And hitting an enemy will give you 1 stack of benefit, stacking up to 3 times, and each stack gives you an additional 10% crit damage. So her engine at a baseline as of right now will give 118% crit damage. Holy shit! Excuse my language. And when you have 3 stacks of benefit, you will also gain 20% electric damage as well. Now why does this engine give such an absurd amount of crit damage? Well, it's because of her core skill, being able to transfer 30% of her own crit damage to allies' additional attacks. So if you were to even have 200 combat crit damage on Anby, then she will give 60% crit damage to any ally that can also use additional attacks as well. But now going over the new drive disc set, the 2-piece will increase the damage of additional attacks and dash attacks by 15%, and for the 4-piece, when additional attacks or dash attacks hit an enemy, the wearer will gain 1 buff. Each buff increases the wearer's attack by 3% and crit rate by 4%, and it will last for 20 seconds. And this can be stacked up to 4 times. So this is a set that is going to be tailor-made for her, so if you plan on getting Anby, I think saving a few batteries so you can try and farm this set when she comes out might be a good idea for some. But now I know many people will ask for the comparison with Haru, but the thing is, they might actually be able to work together, and here's why. Haru is a quick swap / off-field attack agent. He only comes in for short bursts or to dominate the stun duration on an enemy. And with Anby being able to buff allies and also wanting to dominate the field time outside of stun, these two actually have a pretty cohesive kit for each other. Now will they be their best teams? Only testing will be able to answer that, but it definitely won't be a bad team either. But in my next video for Trigger, we will see that she's an off-field stun agent that comes onto the field for short bursts as well. So I think it's actually pretty funny that Anby, Haru, and Trigger might actually be a viable team. What the fuck? But so far as it stands right now, these characters' kits do not get in the way of each other, and personally I am really happy about that, as it is great game design to be able to make agents of the same typing and class, but be able to fill different roles instead of invalidating each other. So I will definitely give them props for that one. But overall for the Anby and Haru comparisons, I mean outside of them both having marks and doing dash attacks, their game plans are different. So there is no need to compare them, as they both can be enjoyed on their own teams or even potentially together. So this is the first look at Silver Soldier Anby's kit, and I am very excited to see what's to come. I'll be making a video on Pulchra and Trigger, and also a guide on Evelyn coming soon too. But don't forget to check me out on Twitter at Ket7th, join the Discord as I do weekly giveaways there, and be sure to subscribe for more Zenless Zone Zero content. And as always, my name is Ket7th, and with that, I'm signing out.